technical terms. Come on, man.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I want to thank you guys so very much for your patience as I work my way around this magical software they call StreamYard. Everybody's hearing me okay? Everybody's hearing okay? Beautiful?
Can I hear an echo?
Okay, let's check again, make sure we're not streaming anywhere else. Still having an echo?
No.
Okay,
yes.
Beautiful.
Better.
Oh, you may need a headphone, Sancho.
Okay,
just some earbuds, to help reduce that. Hey guys, so I want to thank you guys so very much for joining us. It is yet another episode of the live chat series here on JP Schwmon's Situation Update platform. And of course, this evening, or rather for this show, we are celebrating two unique Vincentians, unique in every sense of the word. You will get a chance to meet them. You will get a chance to share your questions, your thoughts, your comments with them. We will be celebrating some of their achievements for this particular episode. But before we do that, let's jump on out and jump right back on in fine style. Right? Let's do this right quick and come right back. And of course, a quick word from our partner. I know, right? I know, right? One more.
Oh, okay.
We just have to take a time out to say thank you to our partners. You just saw it from Concept Solution and Genre Designs. We do not yet have some visuals for Diamond Grocery Incorporated. So I have to jump in and say thank you, Diamond Groceries Incorporated, for the love and support that you've always shown to us. As a matter of fact, they are responsible in a very real way for the software that we use when we stream. So we want to invite you every time you want to do supermarkets on St. Vincent to make it either at Diamond or at Calico, right? Having said that, man, how are you guys doing?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Right, good. Go again, Sancho.
I'm fine.
I see your lips moving, but all right, I hear you now. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, could somebody say something over there? Because for some reason, I'm not hearing my guest.
You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Akley seems frozen in place. I don't know why.
I think he is frozen.
Okay.
What's
going on here?
Seems like tonight might not. Well, I don't know. Challenges. Or is it good now?
All right, yeah. We getting you now. I appreciate the rainy weather in St. Vincent and Billy in particular. So I figure they might have some of that choppy issues with your internet out there, sir. All right, so I'm just
I can tell you the name. Yeah.
Don't do it. I'm gonna step back a little bit and let you guys share some greetings, and then we get into the meat of things, right? So who's gonna go first, man?
I guess I'll go first. Just sending greetings to my friends, my family, my mom, my brother in Parlover, the Parlover people, friends Vasha. I think she's listening right now. Kishan listening, my brother Xavier listening. And I mean, everybody who I know from SVG from a long time, if they're listening, just saying hello.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mr. Olton, so greetings.
I think he's stuck.
Yeah.
I think he's stuck too. All right. So while we allow him, go ahead. Fight on through, brother.
You boy, I feel like I have a relay, like I'm in a gap. Well, hopefully you guys can be.
It's all right, but
I want to thank Mr. JP and Situation Updates for the opportunity to be here. So that's the first thing. I hope somebody's hearing me. I hope we're live.
Yes.
Secondly, I just want to big up all the creators on the ground in St. Vincent who doing their thing, and keep doing their thing with all the challenges we've been having this year and last year, mostly all year this year. Yeah. So all the people on the ground who still trying to create and do their thing. I just want to big up everybody who could hear me, who doing their thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. So we're gonna jump into and guys who's listening to us, viewing us on YouTube or on Facebook. Remember, you're part of this conversation too. So feel free to send your questions in, your thoughts, your congratulations, because we're not just trying to get to know these folks here again tonight, right? We're also celebrating with them, like I said, and keep saying some of their earlier achievements. Well, most recent achievements. I'm being distracted because I'm noticing that I'm losing internet on one device or the other over here, but we shall persevere. Miss Sancho Lyttle, I heard you big up people from Parlover just now, so I realize isn't them kind of can as a Vinci that you're related and so on. But that was going to be my first question for you tonight. Recognizing that you are a girls' high school and major personal development agency alumni, for those of us who are not so familiar with you, I want to take the honor of asking, who is your people? How you come from really and truly don't
I mean, up in Parlover, all them little family around that area, Kingston Park, just that whole Parlover area right up above Kingston right there. It's just all of us that live there now, Been there from since I was born till they all still live there. If you're looking for one, you find out.
So just to make it sure and plain and clear, are you telling me that you're related to the Earls, as in the Kevin the Earls and
Yes, that is my cousin.
I see the head shaking.
Yeah.
I see the head shaking. Okay. So greatness runs in the blood. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Well, one for each genre, basketball, little soca, little music and stuff. And I think we have other people out there doing their stuff, peacefully, under the radar sometimes. But, two of us got out, made a name for the little people. And well, no pun intended, but, the little people. And yeah, we out here just, doing what we could do.
Beautiful. Could you tell me a little bit about your earlier days, before you became the athletic brand that you are now? Who exactly was Sancho? What was growing up in St. Vincent like for you?
I used to run track, since I was 9. I was coached by Gideon Laban back then. Miss Vernet McDowell, that was my high school coach. And then I for my own sake, I thought that I was getting too big for track, like too tall. I was about 6'1" at the time, and I was kind of slowing down. My knees was hurting, and nobody told me that I was growing pains. I just thought it was just too much work for me. And so I switched from running track and went to basketball with Wayne Williams. And it so happened that that is what, took me as far as I am right now.
Hmm. So you call a name right there, right? And because you call that name, we're going to do this. Good evening, Coach. How are you?
Good evening.
Coach, you beautiful. Coach, you're live with us, and of course, on the other end is Sancho Lyttle, man.
Hello, Sancho.
Hi,
Always,
Wayne.
always a pleasure seeing you and communicating with you.
Well, pleasure's our minds, Wayne. Another voice from anyway.
Wait, let
It's
me
good to be.
let
Yes, go
me
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
congratulate Sancho for being inducted to the University of Houston Hall of Fame. You know, very proud of you. Always knew that you had the potential to do great things, and you have not disappointed.
Thank you, Wayne.
Beautiful. Coach, do you have any questions for I want to say your protege at this point?
No, I mean we're always in communication. I know COVID interrupted a few of the things that Sancho wanted to do. I think as things settle down, hopefully we'll be able to continue with the plans that we had.
Sancho, do you want to jump in here and shed some light on what these plans might be? Could be,
Um,
possibly be?
it just we 2 years ago, maybe 2018 was the last I was home. 19, we were trying to do some grassroots programs going around St. Vincent, just trying to teach the game of basketball to younger kids. Um, Hopefully, there will be a diamond in the rough somewhere, and there'll be more people out there from St. Vincent trying to get scholarships or trying to play overseas. That was our intentions. And since COVID, that's 2 years now that I haven't been home, um, continuing what we started. So that I think that's what Wayne is getting to. That COVID kind of put a hindrance into some of the plans that we were trying to do.
Okay, okay. Um, I noticed Akley is back with us, and he's looking a little bit more fluid over there. Sound check, Akley. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So
Yeah.
we're gonna give him a chance to come in and basically introduce himself to our audience. Mr. Olton, you are carded as a Vincentian filmmaker, and I basically just told everybody that you're from Bel Air, wrong this so. In the background when rain come, internet mash up and things.
Yeah. I just want to again, thank you for this platform to like share and to like connect with other Vincentians who, who are doing their thing and pushing on and trying to like empower community. Which internet you using? Because I was on Digicel first, but now I have to go to Flow with a plan. I just want to put that out there, saying that we're online and I just saying. I ain't saying nothing, but I just saying, I just have to spend our money anyway.
I'm still using digital internet, man.
Seems
Actually, it's good to do this.
we should go with the flow. Anyway, I'll go there. So
all right, my brother. But what I'm interested in though is basically what got you started? What would you say is your filmmaker genesis moment? Like
I wouldn't say it's a genesis moment. I would say it's like a necessity to be an artist and come from St. Vincent and still sort of like put some entrepreneurial, ideas and skills behind it. I wouldn't say there was like a moment, but more like acceptance of a challenge. The bit of what I heard of Sancho's interview when I just came in there was about basketball and empowering the community through basketball. Recently, I had an opportunity to work with Bashai. I just wanted to connect. I'm not sure if he's in your organization, but he was doing a similar thing, And what I wanted to do was to sort of like use the camera and use the storytelling to sort of highlight things that are happening in our community, to inspire the community, and also to like preserve some of those traditional things that only does happen in Vinci, you know. So that was like the reason, and then it's just like an acceptance of that, and then figure it out like how we actually do it, you know. Yeah.
Okay. And while we're still with you, Akley, how would you describe your visual style, your unique voice, if you will, and what three influences might you readily identify that you could point to say that they helped to shape that voice?
Um, I guess in terms of helping to shape the voice, the first name I would call would be Vonnie Rudet at the community college. Like I think she was the first person within the institution of school in St. Vincent that said to me, you have something special to share with the world through your visual, images through what you create. And that was drawing and painting. And then I was able to use like what I got from that experience to take it into film and to take it into other situations. But in terms of my style or my voice, I would say it's like an open debate in terms of political, but not political in terms of party politics. I think my thing is within the realm of beauty. Like we get to decide what is beautiful, and it's like a war on aesthetics because I guess people who were like colonized accept a certain kind of aesthetic, accept certain things as beautiful, and they deny other things. And I just wanted to like confront that because I think that's how we keep some of the plantation alive, or a lot of it alive, by liking the things they like and hating the things they hate, even though we're 100% Vinci right now, and we're synthesis, but still we have the taste of the white man still. So I just wanted to like
Hmm.
find a different way of seeing beautiful on the island from within the island. Like beauty on the other side of the beach that is not a hotel, that is not a bohemian fantasy with a fresh cut lawn, but like beauty in terms of how people live with limited resources, or how they relate to each other, or used to.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Sancho, I try to read up a little bit about you on online, Wikipedia to be exact, and it's very limited what they presented. I have to tell you, and I am not too sure I trust a whole lot of what I read.
Right.
You're touted as a Spanish nationality, as having as being, I know you're gifted dual citizenship because of your work with the Spanish team.
Right.
But before I come to all of that, I'm raising that point because one of the things I picked up on Wikipedia is that basically you came to the game of basketball relatively late, right?
Right.
I basically want you to explain again how is it that started, because you just now acknowledged making that transition from track and field and actually gravitating towards basketball with Coach Williams here, who's on with us now. So could you just walk us through again, how we went from here in St. Vincent basketball to the transitions overseas and as it grew, please?
Okay. So after I got drafted to the WNBA in 2005, I went over to Spain and played there for 6 years. So in the summertime, I played in the WNBA, and in the from say October to April, I'll play in Spain. So 6 years I did that, and so in my 6 year, so you can have citizenship after 5 years in Spain. So on my 6 year, they approached me and asked me if I wanted to be on a Spanish national team, and at the time I was like, okay, this will help me to make more money. One, because then I become a European, and two, it will help my basketball grow because there wasn't really a team to represent St. Vincent at the time, like overseas, or that caliber of just getting to the Olympics. That was my goal, getting to the Olympics. So when they approached me, I accepted it for two things. And so that is the reason I became a Spanish national. And that is the story.
Short and sweet.
Yep.
How is it that you came on the radar of the schools that scouted you to begin with? So like
that is a question Wayne probably got to answer, because I know we had just started playing. My last year in high school, so I was 16, about to be 17, and we started playing basketball. And a year and a half later, we were getting a call. It was three of us. It was me, Vasha Adams from Georgetown, and another lady named Cheryl. And we all signed some papers and decided to leave St. Vincent and go to Texas. That is how the story started. But how we got there, Wayne could actually answer that question. He knew some people who knew some people that needed some tall players. And that we left and we went.
Coach Williams?
Yes, I attended university in Arkansas, and thanks to Dr. Knox Adams, who was already a student at that university, and I ended up, in the middle of, well, I can't say nowhere, but I ended up at that institution, and I spent some time with the basketball program at that institution. So I built up a network. And when I returned home, the vision was to identify talent and groom them to bring them to a certain level where they could access scholarships. Okay, in the case of Sancho, as she stated, and the other two young ladies, Cheryl O'Dean and Vasha Adams, through my coach at Washington Baptist University, we identified a school in Texas. And I think, well, I know the coach at the time was Coach Wade Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful to the parents who allowed their daughters to go off to the USA. And clearly, yes, Sancho started at a late age, but basketball is a late developmental sport. And we have to also give credit to the coaches who worked with her in the other disciplines. And also worked with Vasha, because both Sancho and Vasha played netball along with Cheryl O'Dean. So it was just a matter of, they were physically, ready, but it was just a matter of teaching them the basketball skills and that dealing with that transition. And yes, we identified the opportunity, but all credit have to go to the young ladies for putting in the best effort and sometimes dealing with some difficult situations, because the transition from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to rural Texas is not an easy one. So to simply answer your question, it was my network that was developed while I was at university in the USA.
Underlying this vision of yours, Coach, to come home and to get talent to send back out, I sense a drive to use education as a vehicle to further development. Am I off the mark there?
No, you're on target, because it is a first-year student, and then you're an athlete, and you have to be able to perform both in the classroom and on the field of play. Okay, so it's an academic / athletic scholarship. So even when you're training the athletes for a particular discipline, in this case basketball, you also have to monitor their schoolwork and make sure that they have the grades, not only to get into the institution, but have the capacity to excel in the institution. And fortunately, that's what most of our athletes who have benefited from basketball scholarships have done.
Okay. Mr. Olton, sir, I have somebody in the studio here who has been wanting to meet you for a minute. Let's jump on in and say greetings to Vincentian playwright and actor himself, Gerald Huggins Jackson. Greetings, Chief.
Good evening. Good evening. Greetings.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, guys and lady. It's a pleasure to join you guys tonight. How's everyone doing?
Beautiful. We're fantastic. It's my privilege, my honor to introduce especially these two gentlemen here. I like to connect dots like this. Writer, playwright, actor, what do you say to this filmmaker who is clearly on the way up, and up?
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you. I've been wanting to meet you. Stage play is my thing. Internationally, around the world, I've staged off Broadway in New York City, Isabel Beta in Toronto, Montreal, just everywhere. And because of COVID, I have been having a problem actually getting back into the theater. So I am trying to direct my script and my writing into the screen. And I would be honored to collaborate with you to make this happen.
Oh wow! Well, the honor would be mine. It's sometimes a challenge for us here on the ground in St. Vincent to connect with this bigger network of mentors. As
Yes, I'm here.
Come on,
I think this
give him
will
his
stop flowing.
opportunity. Give him his opportunity. Come on, Flo. Give him his opportunity now.
Come on, Flo. You gotta be flowing right now, Flo. All right. So Akley's been having some connectivity issues. We're having some light thunderstorms here. It's been, and where he is in the back of up there, so it does happen like that sometimes. But he'll be back. Blue Chip Basketball Academy. Behave yourself.
Please wait for him.
But anyways, we will wait for Akley. And while he sorts out, because I know he will sort out to come back on. Let me move down to my next Sancho question. Sancho, several athletic accolades later, your path has taken you down some, I would consider them to be serious physical injuries, but you have kept coming back. Like, I think I read somewhere, like, in a matter of months, you were back on the court playing after, I think it was some injury to your knee, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the question is, what's behind the drive, that drive, for your on-court success?
So when I first had my first contract to play in the WNBA, I didn't know how long it would last. And I said until my body give up, that I will give up. And so I keep continuing. And with injuries and setbacks, my body really never gave up. If your mind give up, the rest of your body give up. And so the healing process was a struggle, but my body was not giving up. It was fixed and it kept coming back. So I kept going. And so my last injury 2 years ago, I went back, and so happened that I tweaked that injury again. And then my body said, this is it. We can't do it no more. And so I retired. I always said that is how it's going to be, and that is how it went. And I was satisfied, and that was the end of it.
I like the way you preempted my questions. It's almost like if we sat down and scripted these things, what was that like, coming to that decision to retire? Because evidently you're in love with this game.
Mm-hmm. My coach once told me the day he played, and he said the day that I knew that it was time for me to retire is when I woke up in the morning and didn't want to go. When you don't want to go anymore, it means it's you don't hate the game anymore, but your willingness to do what propel you isn't there, so you shouldn't waste your time. And so one day I think I was recovering from the tweak that I had of my last injury, and I got up and I was like, I don't want to go. and I wasn't sad about it, and I
That was
didn't
it.
pout,
That
and
was
I didn't.
it.
Yes, and I was like, I just don't want to go in. I don't want to put my shoes on today. And so at the end of the season, I said, this is it for me. I retired. I have not really missed the game, but I don't wish to be playing.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll come right back there with you. I see Akley is back. I just want to give him an opportunity to,
Right, right.
to stop bothering the people of internet
I'm so sorry. I'm
and
so
finish
sorry
your
about
thought,
it.
brother. It's
Yeah,
all good. It's
good.
all
That's
good.
okay.
It's all good.
I guess I should try to say it as quickly as I can, just in case it cut out. But greetings, Uncle. It's so nice to connect with you. I mean, I would be privileged and honored to like work with you and help you do whatever it is you want to do. For me, it's really about giving power to our space. And I kind of like went on a journey to get myself like educated and trained and to understand this thing. And I too came home and didn't really like know how to like put it to use given the circumstances that we have on the island. And I've just been like trying to do it as a sort of like a door opener. And I've gotten a kind of a distance. And right now it's just to like it's just to like extend that to the community. So like if your story is amazing and powerful, I'm sure like it could open way more doors and inspire way more people. So just let me know how I could be a part of that. And I don't know if JP have any questions or whatever, but
Well,
this
Jiffy
internet.
probably can tell you about my stories. He
Uh huh.
acted on Broadway, well, off Broadway, with one of my production previously, in
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Toronto, Montreal, at the Howard University in Washington, D.C. He's been
Yes.
there,
Yes.
and we did quite a lot of work on the international stage. And our plan basically was to take our culture to the world because it's kind of hard to bring the world to our culture. So we were out there promoting Caribbean theater, not just Vincentian theater, but Caribbean theater in a whole. And as I said, because of COVID, we got stuck. And I have a lot of material written, ready to go. And I am going to look at putting these on the screen, Netflix, series, whatever we can do to reach a new audience out there. The Caribbean have a lot of story to be told, and I think we can do it. I'm confident.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Akley, another question coming your way. A major part of your education in cinematography was gained in Cuba, and the man just disappeared. I know he's not to be blamed. I know he's not. I know he's not to be blamed. All right. Okay. 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 So we will do it. We will come back to we will come back to that. We'll come back to that. Sancho, how do you balance? I'm sorry. There's actually something I want to play for you, Sancho. How do you translate the training and investments that went into equipping you to be such an effective power forward or center whenever you played as such into your everyday life? How does it translate for you?
When I first started playing basketball, I always said that there's always more to learn because I was still so fresh and so raw when I started that every opportunity that I had to learn something new, I soaked it up. My shot switched maybe 3 times until I got to a comfortable mindset that it was good enough. Um, I was very bad at free throws until I practiced and changed it a couple of times until I got very good. And that translated in my life because um, there's always something new to learn. There's if I want to be a mechanic, I have to go learn that. If I want to be a judge, I have to go learn everything that you put your mind to. There's always somebody that can teach you something and something that you could learn. If it's a word that you need to spell, you could go look it up and get the meaning and the proper spelling. And that's what I do. There's never a moment that I take for granted, where there's somebody can teach me something, because somebody is going to be looking for me to teach them something, and if I don't know, how can I teach?
All right. Beautiful. Let me see if this works. I'm trying to share a screen here. And of course, now my device is telling me some mess or the other. Let's see here. Okay. I keep having to restart these things. So bear with me, guys. All right. Sancho is a Vincentian national hero. We need to find an honor here in the SVG. Sancho, there's somebody that's backstage who's going to share some words with you in a short minute. But I wanted to play this to get some feedback from you first. Work with me now, sing. There we go.
And it is over. Sancho Lyttle comes up with 2.
This is the 3. Rebound Atlanta. Sancho gets it to go. Top of the shot clock. Leja moves in. There is Sancho to follow it home. The Wiley bet.
Hungarian team during the offseason. Sancho Lyttle puts it in and 1. Haven't found an answer for Sancho Lyttle so far. January dumps it off to Sancho Lyttle. Baseline J got it. Right on the mark for Sancho Lyttle.
Lyttle over Smith. Good jumper right at the free throw line. Sancho Lyttle, the 7th-year player in Atlanta for the 2nd straight year, going back to the WNBA Finals.
Around the screen from Lyttle, screen and roll. Sancho catches, shoots, score, and 1.
Yeah, get some momentum. The block by Sancho Lyttle. Send it away.
And Little's got it on the right side.
And the lay in there for Sancho.
Okay, so it's coming in a little bit choppy. So my producers asked that I try it this way, which I generally don't like to do. But
and Sancho Lyttle just steps in front, and it is over. Sancho Lyttle in the lane comes up with 2.
This is the 3. Rebound Atlanta. Sancho gets it to go. Top of the shot clock. Leja moves in. There is Sancho to follow it home. The Wiley bet.
Hungarian team during the offseason. Sancho Lyttle puts it in and 1. Haven't found an answer for Sancho Lyttle so far. January dumps it off to Sancho Lyttle. Baseline J got it. Right on the mark for Sancho Lyttle.
Lyttle over Smith. Good jumper right at the free throw line. Sancho Lyttle, the 7th-year player in Atlanta for the 2nd straight year, going back to the WNBA Finals.
Around the screen from Lyttle, screen and roll. Sancho catches, shoots, score, and 1.
Yeah, get some momentum. The block by Sancho Lyttle. Send it away.
And Little's got it on the right side.
And the lay in there for Sancho Lyttle.
All right, beautiful. Good. So you saw that. A whole lot better than the one we tried to run on YouTube.
Right.
Right, that's why we went for that one. Right. So my question is, in the moments that are captured in that career reel that I stole from the WNBA, what would you say is one of the most resonating moments of all those moments that are brought together in, from on court there that we just showed?
I think my 2nd year in Atlanta, we had a very, very young team. And nobody really thought that we would make it as far as we would or could. And we just played for each other. We were always happy. We were always just so loose. Like, we didn't care because everybody doubted us, and we just kept winning and kept winning. And you could see the joy in basketball in everybody's faces. And so we went all the way to the finals. We didn't win. And then the 2nd year, we vowed ourselves back to the finals. And we didn't win again. But we were still so close and so connected. And then the 3rd year, we went back to the finals. But it was different then, because I think the team was just, we were tired of getting to where we wanted to get to and couldn't get over that hump. And so they just broke up the whole team. They broke up the coaches. They sent players. They recruited other players. And so they brought us back, brought the team back, and it wasn't the same atmosphere. So I would say my my second and third year in Atlanta was my most enjoyable, recognizable, and most learning experience that I had playing in the WNBA. My first 5 years in Houston before the team was disbanded, I was in a learning process. They had just won the first three rings ever in the WNBA, and so I was just learning, soaking up everything I could from those players. And then I went to Atlanta, and then I became one of the starters, and that's where my career started.
Ah, beautiful. We want to talk a little bit about your accomplishments today, but let me introduce this beautiful brother we're seeing on screen here now. This is Mr. Ash. It's a little bit dark over there, Mr. Ash. He is a Vincentian treasure himself. What happened? I see names of people just disappear.
You must be
What
working.
could be causing this?
You working from switchboard?
Probably. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so Orande Ash, he's actually a former national footballer. He's now a coach in, I think, North Carolina. I'm hoping he'll be back on to correct whatever mistakes I'm making here. And he's a podcaster as well. And was very excited to share this evening with us as we celebrate accomplishments and achievements and so on and so forth, right? We will await his return. Akley has texted his apologies. He would not be able to rejoin the stream because the things are going from bad to worse on his end out there. But we will touch base with the brother again because there's more that we wanted to share with him and from him. Bringing back Orande Ash to the stream. Blessings, Chief. Your life.
Good evening. Good evening. I think kind of like what we talked about a couple days ago, the phone is working better than the laptop, so I'll be holding the phone. Good evening, everybody. I haven't heard anything up to this point because I'm having some audio difficulties, but glad to be on. Appreciate the invitation and ready to listen to hear some good stuff.
Beautiful. So he was out on the field earlier, which is why he wasn't able to hear what's happening. I'm filling in the blanks for you, right? Could you just tell our audience around it just a little bit about you, a little bit better than I did, because, yeah, please.
Well,
Chosen two.
Orande Ash, born in, and like a lot of Vincentians. Who? Hello?
Yeah, we getting that jibber jabber. But go ahead. You were coming in there once you started speaking.
Hello?
Take it away.
Okay. Born in Barley.
No, boy. Something is happening on the other end. How come we have good internet, Sancho?
Guess it's not raining. They know it's
Okay, I think he is joining again on another device. Let's see. All right, you back with us? I have you twice. Let's remove one.
I hope so. I hope so.
Right, you're there now.
You might have to do the job of letting folks know who I am, because I don't know if I'll make it through. You might have to tell them what you know.
Oh yeah, no, you're much better now.
I'll fill in the gaps later if there's any audio.
So he's from Barley, guys. If you've never known, and when St. Vincent and the Grenadines finally got a chance to get to the Gold Cup in soccer, man, he was one of the players that helped to make that possible. Am I right? All right.
I was one of the players that was there.
Sancho? I think we're gonna start a foundation and we're gonna start supplying some internet around
There to
this
invest in the
place.
Gold Cup after the summer of 1995, and I got lucky enough to be called in.
Okay, that can't be good. That cannot be good. Okay, let's talk achievements, accomplishments, Sancho. Very, very recently, I think it was in just a few weeks ago, you were honored at your alma mater there in Texas. Tell us about that and a bit more about the achievements over your career, please.
Yes, my alma mater is the University of Houston, and I think 2 years ago they told me that they were going to honor me, but due to COVID, we had to keep pushing it back and pushing it back, and so we finally got it, off the ground last week, 2 weeks ago, last Friday. Um, it was great. I didn't expect it was going to be like that, and until I got there, and it made me speechless to say. And if I had to do a speech, I probably would have, choked up and cried, or maybe went 10, 15 minutes. But they had us do the speech before we got to the building. And I kind of choked up just listening to what I had said, because, you go, you speak, and then you just like, okay, it's over, and then you leave. But when they played it on the big screen for everybody, I actually did get choked up and was happy that I didn't have to say it on the stage that day.
I have to ask, what did you say? Because, at the risk of,
They just, they asked you, who would you like to thank, throughout the journey that you had while at U of H and beyond. And I just had to thank my mom, that very first moment when she's like, I don't want you to be just a kid playing outside. I want you to go learn a sport. And so she sent me to go run. I think I cried the very first day. I cried the whole time, just because I didn't want to be there. And I got used to it, and then I liked it, and then I was winning, and I liked it more. It's always good when you're winning. So that was track. So I thanked her for that. I thanked my old coaches, Gideon and Wayne and Miss McDowell. And then I thanked the coaches from U of H for giving me that chance, because, as I said, that I started late playing basketball. And to give me a chance, to give somebody a chance that only had 2 years prior knowledge of basketball, still don't know really how to shoot, probably just know how to run up and down the court because of my track days, was very, very, grateful for that. I didn't expect to be in the WNBA, but there go another opportunity that I had, that I make the best of it, and I kept going and I kept going, and 20 years later, that is my story.
You also hold some records at your university, don't you?
Yes. So in 2 years, so I played for the University of Houston for 2 years. I went to a junior college, as Wayne was saying, for a guy named Wade Scott. This was in West Texas. And so then I transferred to the University of Houston and played there for 2 years. And in 2 years, I averaged 11 point, maybe 5 or 6 rebounds a game. And then I hold a rebounding record in 2 years. So I guess that is a good accomplishment, because what people don't do in 4 years, I did in 2. So, yeah.
And again, starting with a knowledge handicap of the game and all of that.
Right. So my mentality then was get a rebound and play some defense that will keep you on the court. And it did. You learn the rest at a later stage. I mean, you can make a layup. That is the best you could do. Make a layup. But if you play as hard as you could play, coaches notice this and you get more playing time. And that was my mentality then. And it was still my mentality until I retired.
Okay, so generally, this is a 40-minute chat. We're at 49 minutes and counting, but we're having a little fun, I think. I can't let you get off this conversation and not talk a little bit about the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, no, you don't know what I mean. But I'm not trying to get into your business now. But what I'm particularly interested in is how has your money management skills been impacted because of your journey, if at all?
So when when I first got out of University of Houston and I saw my first paycheck, I was like, okay, this is the most I've ever seen since playing in college, because in college I only had a stipend of maybe $300, pay your rent, buy some groceries. And so when I saw my first paycheck, everybody was like, that is not a lot of money, but to me it was. So from then on I started saving maybe 60 to 70% of my money. So I will only spend what I needed and not overdo it, because I know one day basketball is going to end. And so as I increased, I still saved the same 70%. So if it was $1, I had 70 cents in the bank. Then it went up to $2. Then I had 140 in the bank. So when I finished playing and I see some of my friends or some of the other people who played, and they are, struggling. Are you there? Hello.
Hey,
You were
can you hear
floating.
me? I have no clue what is going on in this place. None whatsoever. It's a good thing I've been going on a backup screen for the longest. Yeah, so sorry, you were saying before we got disconnected here on my main screen.
About the money management.
Yes, you were finishing a point. If
Yeah,
you
so
don't
I
mind.
said I save 70% of whatever I make, whether it was $1 or $100 or $1,000. I always save 70%.
Mhm.
So when I finish playing and I look back and see some of my friends struggling because everybody wanted to, spend their money, I knew basketball wasn't going to last. I didn't know how long it was going to take me before I retired. And so I played for 15 years, saving 70% of my money. All of it is in investments now, but it's still there. And so, they're like, the guys make so much more money than the women, but the industry is different. So as a woman, you had to save your money, save it differently. And that's what I did. And I mean, I can't really complain about it, but I know I'm not safe. I wouldn't say safe, but I have enough that I could eat, live, and not worry so much about going broke.
Okay. I think I have another question there for you. Oh, I think I know what happened to my device. I think my data service is being renewed or some crap. But anyways, there's a question on screen. I hope you can see it. Ask her about the 96 points Vincentian record, and this is coming from Blue Chip Basketball Academy. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Blue Chip. Sancho, sorry, go ahead.
Actually, it was 99.
Ooh,
It was
tell the
99.
story.
It was 99 points. I think we were in Beckway playing against the Beckway women's team, and I had just came back from playing in college. So you come back for the summer, and Wayne had the basketball tournaments in the summertime, and we had a team that went down to Bequia, and we were just running all over the place because we had just learned how to actually move the ball and play and shoot and all of this stuff. So we were just moving and moving and scoring. And in my head, I didn't even know it was that high. We were just playing. And so at the end of the game, they were like, she need one more point to get to 100. And they just keep hacking me and fouling me and all this other stuff. And I never got the 1 point to make 100. So that's how it went. But the thing is, it is a record, but I really never acknowledged that as a record because I had more knowledge than my opponents. So I don't see it as anything to be like, oh, I had 99 points in a game, because if I was playing against people, who was of the same knowledge and skill as me, I would never have made 99 points. So it's there, but that is
it's like it's a fun thing. It doesn't really count. Kind of.
Right.
I see somebody jumping in here asking, "Is it me you're looking for?" Do you know this person?
That's my brother.
Blessings, bro. Blessings. So I paused my question because I always like to have a community jump in with questions of their own. And of course, Blue Chip is saying a record is a record is a record. You know what I mean? It's there. It's there in perpetuity, man. You did it.
As I say, it is there, but I don't go around just like, oh, I had 99 points in a game. I don't go around saying that because, I mean, as I say, I had more knowledge at the time, and my knowledge was outshining other people's abilities. And so, as I say, I didn't even know, in my head, I didn't even know it was that much points I had until we were like 30 seconds to the end of the game, and they were like, she need one more point. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, you need one more point to make 100. And it was over. If they hadn't said it, probably I would have gotten it, because nobody else would have had it in their mind that you need the 1 point. So they was like fouling me all over the place. And so we never made it.
I mean, your sense of humility is definitely shining through, and I agree with you, Blue Chip. She is so humble, this woman. But has it? And again, forgive me if I'm misinformed, but has there ever been any sort of move here in St. Vincent to honor you the way your university has done?
No, I don't think so. I think because this might be my own opinion, but I haven't been home enough for this regular generation to know who I am. The people who know who I am or what I did or do is the people I grew up with. And for 20 years, people who about be 20 years old don't know who I am. So, and I really don't put myself out there unless somebody put me on something. And I don't think that has been happening for over 20 years. So, in my own knowledge, no. For the sports department, for whatever it is, no. I think they say some of my accomplishments over the radio when they're doing some announcements and stuff. But as I say, only the people who know who I was when I was growing up actually know who that is.
Okay. Does that bother you in any way that there's no sort of accolades being pushed here on that level for Sancho Lyttle?
It really doesn't, because I need to push my own face in my own country. I need to be home. That's what I was trying to do. My goal was when I retired to come home every summer for at least 3 months and do something bigger that way. Because coming home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month is not enough time for me to even push a program or try to help other people to be better in whatever they're doing. 2 months, 3 months, I can see progress. 2 weeks, I could just see faces. And so stuff like that, maybe your program going to actually put me out there to say, okay, this is who she is. This is what she's done. And we go from here. It's always a start and soon it'll be, progression.
Beautiful. What is it that you do now? I mean, you're retired. I know the flyer says you're an international basketball player. I mean, should really say retired, but
Yes.
what is it that you do now?
So when I retired in 2019, COVID kind of hit. I was supposed to go back and be an assistant coach. COVID, and
Oh,
so we didn't get that
I'm,
done.
I'm
So
sorry. I think you touched something on your end there because it just took your audio away for a little bit. Yeah, there's something that is giving me a little song every time your hand touches something on there. Speak again so I can hear you.
now you can hear me.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Right. So I was supposed to go be assistant coach for the Phoenix Mercury in 2020, but then the COVID hit. They didn't know when the season was going to be, when it's going to end, how it's going to happen. So I kind of declined going there. And then it's this year. Um, the season is happening, but then that job opportunity fell through. So now I'm doing some sub work at a school for kids that have learning disabilities, ADHD, and stuff like that. I do that during the day, and then the NCAA tournament practice and schedule is about to come on, and so I'm going to do some uh, internship is an internship at a college, just to see if that is what I want to do um, in years to come. If I want to coach or just do something else.
Okay. Blue Chip Basketball Academy is saying St. Vincent and the Grenadines need to do better. It doesn't matter. Your legacy is your story. Blue Chip will be honoring you. Blue Chip, I want to hold it today. Yeah. Orande Ash is back with us. Does that mean that
I was never there. This is it was a mystery. It was like an accident of the universe. I was never there 20-30 minutes ago. Hello everybody. I'm just joining you now. I was never there. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's a mystery that happened.
I'm saying professional athletes, do you two know each other at all?
I know of Andy Rat.
Oh man,
I
know of.
Yes.
And this is one of the issues. I'm sure that you guys have talked about this, and perhaps it's not. Maybe we can get into it. That there's a lot of people doing wonderful things for St. Vincent, represent St. Vincent, and a lot of us don't know each other, or we're not, like the Blue Chip folks said, Miss Sancho Lyttle, she's not getting her flowers, not enough while she's here. People like Ezra Hendrickson, or even I just discovered that there's some track athletes in the SEC from.
Okay. I think the internet gods
we don't
like us tonight.
Know about that? I have no idea.
Okay, so we lost you after you mentioned the kids.
Did my
Yeah, your audio is going and coming again. Okay. So we're getting some motion from you. Just say it one more time, please. Let's just make sure our audience picked up on what you said.
But to his point about the kids out there running up, even kids that are in sports up in America, even in Europe, a lot of us don't know each other because as a community of sports athletes and stuff, we only represent St. Vincent when there's time to represent St. Vincent. People don't know about us. Like some of the kids that come from New York, some are born Americans that represent St. Vincent, Vincentians who went there when they were very young, and that represents St. Vincent. And so those are some of the things that people don't know about you until it's time to wave the flag. Like if we have a community of, okay, we are Vincentians and we are athletes and stuff like that, then we know who and where we are. And we don't have that. And so when it's time for us to represent, and then we put on that the flag, the colors and stuff like that, then we're like, where was this person like 2 years ago? But they always been there, but nobody put them out there until it's the flag time. And that shouldn't be. If there's a Vincentian out there that is running, that is playing basketball, that is any sport, even the guy who doing the video stuff that was just on, even him, if we have a community that push the names out there before it's time to put on the flag, then we know who we are. But nobody does that. So we there, I don't know who we should say should do it, but we can't blame, sometimes I say we can't blame people for not knowing who is out there, because nobody is actually telling us until it's that time.
What's next for you, Sancho? What does your crystal ball say?
I don't know. I kind of throw my crystal ball up in the air, and whichever color comes down, comes down. I don't know. I want to coach. I want to coach basketball because I think that the knowledge that I have for over 20 years, I think I could do it. The sports knowledge that I know how to motivate and push athletes, I think I could do it. I just need to see if my mental and my actual ability can come together and get it done.
Awesome. Before I let you get into final thoughts, after which I would let you carry on with the rest of your evening, could you define if you see a difference between investing and versus sacrificing as far as achieving one's goals, one's getting to where one wants to get, whatever measure of success you want to use?
I think the people who invest, you said invest and sacrifice.
Right. Do you see a difference between the two?
Yes, I do. Investment in it, because I think my mama sacrificed for me. She, had to do whatever she had to do to get me prepared to be an athlete. I had to invest in myself after a while to be reliable in my everyday life to continue being an athlete. And I think that's two different things. People invest in you, and you need to sacrifice for yourself, whether that is stop the late going out and the drinking just so that your body can recover, and eating right. All these things are sacrifices that you make to be a better athlete, if that is what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, sometimes you guys got to sacrifice. And then people who are ahead of you or in your life need to invest in whatever dream that you have in order for you to succeed, to do what you need to do. And I think there's two different things, because I could invest in myself. A lot of people do that, but sometimes you don't sacrifice. But if your mama invests in you, then you actually be like, yeah, my mama did this. And so I really got to, keep her nose turned up and not disappoint. So, and then you kind of like, got to buckle down and sacrifice whatever you got to do, and however you got to do it to just achieve what you need to achieve.
Beautiful. Beautiful. As promised, at this point, I'd love to hear your final thoughts, given all that we experienced tonight. But before you do share, let me say a very heartfelt thank you to our partners. And in so doing, I have to go over here and press this. We'll be right back. We're not done saying thank you to our partners. Just one more. Of course, we gotta say thank you so very much. You see the diamond in the end of the screen right there, Diamond Grocery Incorporated. Thank you so very much, guys, for powering up our live chat series, our live situation updates. We use the StreamYard app. Well, it's not really an app, the StreamYard service. And Diamond Groceries will be forever thankful to you for ensuring that we're able to stream like we do. Sancho, final thoughts.
I just want to thank you for having me on the show, and I don't remember the other guy's name.
Akley.
First time, Akley. I hope he do get his, his shine, his opportunity.
I'm sorry to cut you on your final thoughts because we didn't get a chance to really get into his story. Akley is with us because he's actually celebrating getting one of his documentaries picked up by major investors. As a matter of fact, he's just now come back to St. Vincent from Maine in the US, where he's been to a film festival. I think one of the only in-person film festivals that happened this year. And his documentary isn't even finished just yet, but they flew him up there so he could show them the work in progress. And it's all a wonderful story. We may just have to bring him back by himself so he could share, because that's really why he was on tonight. We were really trying to get to that when the internet interrupted and so on. But that's where that is. Sancho, please continue with your final thoughts.
Well, I hope that, everything worked out for him. He didn't get to share his story, but I hope it all worked out for him. If there's parents, kids, listening to the program, it's never too late for kids. I started late. You never know when your kid, just turn around and start late also and be successful. You just gotta, as you say, sacrifice and do what you gotta do. For all the people that are listening, thanks for listening. Continue listening to your show, and just tune in for regular people, other people. Then just keep you safe. God keep you safe and keep this show going.
Thank you for the good wishes, man. I'm hoping and praying that it keeps going and it grows. We actually so far over time, it's not even funny. But I really did enjoy spending the evening with you, Sancho, and getting a good insight into who you are, where you've come from, and your dreams and aspirations going forward. Yeah, thank you for sharing so much with us, and to our audience, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook, thank you so very much for being so awesome. Thank you so very much, Blue Chip Basketball Academy, for subscribing. Yeah, Chrome just snitched on you, brother. Please go ahead, hit up that subscribe button, guys. Like it, share it, add your comments to it. Let's let the world know that we have a lot to offer and celebrate right here on beautiful St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Until we meet again, guys, next Thursday for yet another live chat series. And of course, in the in-between, keep checking the platform. We will be uploading, as usual, the situation update stories. We have so much to tell you in this upcoming week. It's not even funny. But again, until we meet and talk and see and chat, stay beautiful, stay blessed. Sancho, thank you again.
Good night.